So this is a story about sustainability. My name is Mark Brown. I spent 6 years working with very large companies doing international projects, looking at microgrids and sustainability and all of that stuff, looking at different energy markets like Brazil, or different regulatory environments like California versus Indiana or something like that. I was 39 years old. I went back to college. My last class was on sustainability, and it was a foreign study class. I speak French, so there was an opportunity to go to it's a technical school in Marseille, down on the south coast, on the Côte d'Azur. I was there for a month. It was life-changing for me. Only 1 week was the class, but that's a whole other story. I went to the school. We looked at solar farms, fish farms, all sorts of stuff. And then we had an open house at the college one night at the end of the sessions, and so they asked me to come over and talk to some of the students that were getting ready to come to the U.S. That in like 3 months or so. So I said, sure. I went over and I'm talking to him about differences in the way that students in the U.S. talk to their teachers or professors or just people in authority in general. That's culturally very different in France. That Americans will seem very shallow and very loud, but they don't mean to be, and I kind of like translated how we are. Then I got cornered on questions, and one of the questions was how come America didn't care that they were killing the environment and that they were killing the world. And I had to think about that for a second, because I grew up in Indiana. It is all flat farmland. There wasn't really a lot to save anymore. So I came from a conservative family, so there was really not a lot of solar and sustainability background in my family. But I've always hated the consumerism of America. And when I went to Europe, it's very, very different there. Now, it has to be different. It's much older. It's much more dense. You've got populations, large city populations that are spread out a little bit more because there's so many different countries compared to the U.S. And the U.S. is huge. We're very, very spread out. So I said, it's not that we didn't care about saving the environment. It's that you always run out of other people's money. And I use Margaret Thatcher from Britain when she used that quote. I think it was her 81, 79, something like that. I said the day that somebody figures out how to do, sustainability, but it makes money, it makes sense to do it, it'll be world changing. And so I came back to the U.S. after that class, and I went back to a company that I had worked for a long time, in their telecom group, and they had started a new energy services group, and that's how I got into sustainability. There are many good reasons to do microgrid, to be independent. There are a lot of different ways that you can save not just energy, but save money, or that you can do two things at once. There's a lot of good ways to do a lot of good things. The problem is that we've got one side that wants to force things, and we have another side that doesn't want to change things. And at the end of the day, if both of them could lay down their arms and look at things, there's so many win-wins in figuring out how to do this, and it doesn't have to involve corruption, and it doesn't have to involve everything else that's going on in the world. So that's just a highlight, I guess, as to my view on sustainability. There are lots of problems with sustainability, and that has to do with the way that people kind of use it as a club. The data analytics that make real energy management and sustainability possible, they can be used for anything, and people don't understand relationships between data points and what you can actually see. That'll be another video at some time. But anyway, there you go. That's me and sustainability. That's what I think. That's kind of what I believe. Yeah. If you have any questions, let me know what you think.